So I was hanging out here down at the barn with Rusty before it started coming down. And as you can see across in the field, there's just this bald eagle just sitting up there. He's just been perched out up there for... he's been up there since I came out here, so good 45 minutes or so. I think he's just looking for food or something. Usually I see like buzzards all over that tree, so it's definitely a good perched spot to look out over the fields, and apparently that's exactly what he's doing. I'm not sure if I can get any closer, but maybe I'll try here. So this is kind of the reality of where we're at these days. Here we are in April, and we just have these cold fronts that keep blowing in, and it blows in this snow. So we can't, you can't really tell at any given time what the weather's going to be like because we keep getting these flurries. Oh goodness, all the birds are in there, huh? Hello, how are you today? What? How's it going? You finding food? So these bales here used to be up here, and now they're down here. So I've gone through a lot of these, and it's just for Rusty. So one horse eating through this was filled in the summer, but now we're in the winter, and since it's been kind of a long winter, hopefully the rest of this will see us through until resupply in summer. So because of the extended winter that we've been having and the signs of predators in the area, especially looked like a bear, probably a small black bear of some kind. With that, it has made it more difficult to get back up to the cabin. I was able to kind of get up there, dig in some corner posts and whatnot, but it's been difficult, and it's going to be difficult to get up there and work on it until we actually get some spring weather. We've only had a few spring days. And then also the thing to be wary of when I'm trekking back up there is those predators kind of roaming around. I'm not too worried about it though. I mean, you know, I spent a lot of time in the woods. You make some noise, they kind of go away. So right now I'm just resodding Rusty's stall here because it gets a little damp and clumped up, and the sod gets blown around, so you got to kind of put down some new Easy Pick every once in a while just to keep it fresh, and it also helps to keep the smell down. So one of Rusty's favorite things to do is eat, and who can blame him? But so while I'm resodding, sometimes I'll just sweep out the little bits of hay that kind of fall to the ground in the barn. But today he's managed to pull himself down a bale of hay, and he's just going to town on it. But I can actually understand, huh, bud? I understand. It's because all that snow out there makes it hard for him to find food when it gets buried, and he's got to work pretty hard to get it. So I'm just going to kind of let him do his thing here. So the sun has finally decided to come out. We've finally gone into spring after a very long winter. Months of just new cold fronts blowing in. But today, it's really nice and sunny outside. I think it's probably close to 70. We're probably going to get up there. It's supposed to be maybe 70s, 80s the next couple days, which is great. But with that comes all the things that you want to do outside. You've been waiting for winter. You've been kind of combating with winter, and then there are all these projects that you want to get done when the weather suddenly turns good. So then you can kind of hunker down again when winter hits again. So I came outside. So today I wanted to just get mowing done. So that's just the general task. But what I really want to do is I really want to be able to get back up there and work on the cabin some more. Hang out with Rusty, ride him a little bit, all the things that you want to do. You know, you want to go camping, you want to do all these projects. So I'm not going to be able to do it all in one day because I have some other things that are on my plate, including one of those is I got to take a look at my car. My car was making this really bad knocking noise yesterday. And I think that's because there's an oil leak somewhere, so I'm gonna have to try and crawl in under there and see if I can fix it. If not, well, if not, that's gonna be a problem for me. So hopefully I can. So here I am, per usual, trying to get it all done in one day. You haven't met these guys before. Hello, come here. Come here. These are the pups. That's Duke, and that's his sister Sadie. Hello, sweethearts. They're just very sweet pups. This is kind of their play area, is this smaller field. I let Rusty in there to pasture. He's just gonna go ahead and kind of help mow this grass just naturally. So I'm just gonna let him do that. But the project I want to do is right down there, so that's where we're headed. Oh, I know, sweetheart. Come here. Come here. Oh my goodness. Hello. Hello, lovey-dovey. Oh my goodness. There are the pups roughhousing. But anyway, this is my project here, because this is in the pen here, or the small kind of fenced area, and there's just this big bunch of tangled, rusty barbed wire, which is not a great thing to have in any situation, just hanging around, especially with these guys. Since they love to run and play. And then also, if I'm gonna let Rusty in here, I really need to get rid of this because this is a hazard, you know. If they get tangled in this or he gets tangled in this, it could be a really bad scenario. They haven't yet, have you? They have not yet. They've been smart enough to avoid it, but it's still something that I'm just going to take care of today. So with barbed wire like this, you want to be really careful since it's rusty. If you stick yourself, you're probably going to need to get a tetanus shot. So be careful when working with it. It really is a nasty invention, to be honest with you. So I'm also wearing gloves, just as another precaution. I'm trying to really cut it into kind of like little chunks here, so then I can kind of just toss those off to the side. I would try and like roll it up and salvage as much as I can of it, but it's just such a tangled mess that there's really no point in doing that. You know, so I'm just cutting it into as big a sections as I can, rolling it nice and tight, and yeah, just getting it out of here. So I thought I'd take you guys on the ride with me today. Spring has finally sprung here, so when the spring weather comes, it's good to get out. We've gotten out pretty consistently this winter with Rusty. Okay, so one last thing I think I'm going to do today here is I've got these pallets, a couple of them, 1, 2, 3, and then there's one up by the house. So I've got this variety of pallets here. And really what it's been kind of functioning as is it kind of, they like to dig, and it keeps them from digging, especially trying to dig to get out. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put a few pavers down in over here, and then I'm going to go ahead and make like a makeshift dog house out of the pallets, so they'll have, you know, something to get shade under and something to kind of keep them safe from the elements a little bit. Okay, so I think job well done. I think the puppies approve of their little house. Very much so. I just got to add one more here, make a few modifications, and then put in pavers to replace those so they don't dig out. But I think this is going to be great for them. Huh. Yeah. So, kind of my reason for doing this, of course, is twofold. It's to build a cabin with my hands, and again, kind of just have that appreciation for hard work. Um, and then, filming me just kind of doing my daily activities, it's kind of, I don't know, it's better because it's real. It's like me actually doing um, stuff. There's a lot of reality TV programs out there, and it's basically it's a lot of most of it's staged or fake, or they heighten, or they ask the people to put themselves in a precarious situation and then get themselves out of it, just because it makes for more entertaining. So even the reality TV that you're seeing is not like this. It's not just like your day-to-day living. Like, I'm gonna go for a ride today because the weather's nice. It should be like that, but it's not, because people are like, oh, well, that's boring. And I really disagree. I think that everyday activity is not boring, and that people will and do tune into that because it's real. It's, you know, this is me riding a horse. This is me taking care of that. It's always just kind of a reminder when you go back out, you kind of got to teach them. Like right there, there are branches and stuff, and so you gotta try to make sure that you're guiding the horse around the obstacles for them, but then also for you, because there's nothing like a low-lying branch, or the maker, as we call them. So those low-lying branches are called widow makers, because they have this tendency of just knocking a rider right off the horse if you get, swiped by one of those things. So you always want to kind of keep an eye out for those. But it's kind of still wet out here, so we've had to kind of, he really enjoys getting out, because then he gets to like sniff everything, and he gets to be in a new environment. And it's just, if you're gonna have a horse that you can ride, or like a working horse, you need to make sure you put in the time and stick with them, get to know them, let them get to know you. Ooh. But yeah, so today's our ride day. So here we are, coming back from our ride. We just kind of went the length of the field out there, just kind of checking in on the cows and whatnot. And now we're back on the road, headed back to the barn. But I don't like riding Rusty too much on the road or harder surfaces, just because he isn't shoed. So riding him on softer ground is just nicer to him. As you can see, he stumbles every once in a while because he hits a rock. And some of those things are jagged, and so it's not very comfortable. So yeah, that's the reason I like riding him on the dirt or in the grass or fields and whatnot. Oh, bud. Careful. I know. Yeah, see, he switched over to the grass here. So he's really easy to unsaddle, especially when he's in the stall, because he just sits here and does this. And you can leave the gate open even, and when you bring him in, leave the gates open and whatnot, and he's not going anywhere. Oh, bud. You're just too food motivated. But at the end of a good ride, I like to give him a couple of these little treats here. Yeah, you see him, huh? Getting these little treats, just kind of to let him know that he did a good job of listening to me while we were out there. He doesn't always get these treats because he doesn't always listen very good, but today he was good today. There you go. Here's one. There's two. Oh, you got it. And there's three. That's it. That's it. All gone. Yep, all gone. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that I want to see. Real people getting out there on horses, being cowboys, checking on cows, doing that kind of stuff. You know, you don't see much of that anymore, or the stuff that you do see, yeah, you know, sometimes it is, you know, there's that documentary that comes along that just kind of really, you know, shows you a glimpse into that. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm hoping to do here is, you know, I just want to show people kind of everyday life in the country. As soon as spring hits, you want to do everything. You want to do everything outside. And well, I mean, at least I do. Not everybody does. With the winter that just happened, it brought down a lot of branches around here. Mix all of this wonderful manure and soil together. You know, don't be afraid to get in there with your hands either. It's just poop. This thing is a mess.